Okay, good day everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Maayong adlaw po sa tanan, mga Bisaya, labi na mga taga Cagayan de Oro. Okay, today po, ipagpapatuloy po natin yung method kung paano isolve yung quadratic equations. Okay, now we will use another method which is completing the square method. Okay, so we're done with the first two methods, which is using the square root property, and the second method is by factoring. So we are now on the completing the square method. Okay, so before we will proceed to on the examples, let us first consider the following steps. Okay, on how to use this method. Okay, number one, first is we need to transpose all terms involving the variable to the left side and the constant to the right side of the equation. In other words, dapat lahat yung may variable, say for example x, ay doon natin isusulat sa left side. At saka yung constant or number lang siya doon sa right side. Okay, that's number one, step one. Number two, be sure that the squared term has coefficient 1. Okay, anong ibig sabihin yan? Diba, we have the equation, quadratic equation, you given to its standard form written like this, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Diba? Ito yung standard form eh. Kung ibig sabihin sa number 1, if we transpose all terms, dito, sa standard form na to, si constancy, ilipat natin dun sa right side of the equation. And then sa step 2, be sure that the squared term has coefficient 1. So make sure daw dito, ito si A is equivalent to 1 lang siya. Kung meron siyang number greater than 1, i-divide natin each term by that particular number. Kasi dapat x squared lang makita dito eh. Okay? Number 3, add the square of 1/2 of the coefficient of x to both sides of the equation, making the left side a perfect square trinomial. What does it means? Diba? Kung ito yung makikita natin, diba ito yung standard form. Kung diba kung ilipat natin yan, simply that becomes ax squared plus bx is equal to negative c. Dapat i-add natin dito, magiging ganito. Suppose si a is 1 plus bx plus b over 2 squared is equal to negative c plus the square of b over 2. Yan. Kung ano yung i-add natin dito sa left side, doon din sa right side. Okay? Number 4, express the left side as a square of binomial. No? Are you familiar with the square of binomial? If you can still recall, so inyong factoring, it looks like this. For example, x minus 2 squared na y plus 3 squared. It's a square of binomial, correct? Dapat ganito yung itsura na sa step 4. Then number 5, we apply the square root property. We take the square root to both sides of the equation, no? So that we can proceed to number 6, wherein we can solve the variable or the equation. Okay? I hope you will internalize the steps, no? In answering the completing the square, in answering quadratic equations by completing the square. We can only use this class if we cannot factor the quadratic equations given, if we cannot apply the square root property. And also if we forget the quadratic equations, no? The quadratic formula rather. So, yan lang naman eh. But itong completing the square method na to, magagamit natin yan especially doon sa analytic geometry na topic, no? In solving the conics, like in solving the ellipse, sometimes in the parabola, yon, or hyperbola, there is sometimes a problem that you need to complete the equations. Okay? So, these are the steps. And I will give you now an example. Pasensya, yung kayo mo sa kong manok kay sila na, wala pag ko nagpa-answer, guys. Huga na po sila. Sagdi lang kay, maihaw ko rin sila, wala na matingog din eh. Okay, I will give you examples to this. Okay, I hope nabutang sa inyong una-una ang akong gibutang steps. Okay? So, let's try our first example. Solve the following. Still, we need to use the completing the square method, okay? So, I'm gonna give you example like x squared plus 8x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay. So, it is very clear that we cannot factor this one. Correct? We cannot solve the quadratic equations by factoring, nor by applying the square root property. So, all we need to do here is to solve by completing the square. Okay, kapag tapos na tayo using the quadratic formula, masasagot natin to. Hindi pa naman tayo nag-discuss ng quadratic formula eh. So, completing the square pa. So, completing the square pa ang pwede natin gamitin dito. Okay. So, let us solve. What would be our first step? Okay, we need to transpose the constant negative 3 to the right side of the equation. So, this becomes x squared plus 8x is equal to 3. Sabi mo, may bago ka ng cellphone. Okay. Andito na si constant. Ano ba ang next step natin? Mag-a-add tayo ng 1/2 coefficient of x. So, this is x squared plus 8x plus 8 over 2 squared is equal to 3 plus 8 over 2 squared. Okay. Yan ang i-add natin. 1/2 coefficient of x. So, yung x natin dyan is 8. So, ibig sabihin, dito, ito yung coefficient ng x, di ba? Si 8. So, 1/2 of the coefficient of x, square 1/2 the coefficient of x. I'm sorry. Giubok ko. Okay. By seeing this, we need to simplify further. You have x squared plus 8x plus what is 8 divided 2? That is 4. Then squared is equal to 3 plus 4 squared. Am I correct? So, this is simplify for x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to 3 plus 16. So, look at the left side of the equation. This looks like a perfect square trinomial. No? A perfect square trinomial. So, next after this is we need to what? Express this as a square of binomial, no? So, by just looking above, which is 4, and it's all positive, so we need to write x plus 4 is squared. Correct? Is equal to, what is 3 plus 16? You have 19. Okay. So, what's next? Since we need to find the value of x, as you observe, this is just like the first method, which is the applying the square root property, correct? We need to raise both sides by square root. It's equal to square root of 19. So here we could cancel the radical and the square. So what is left? You have x plus 4 is equal to positive negative square root of 19. Okay? So what's next? We need to solve for x. So x is equal to, we transpose positive 4 to the right side. So negative 4 plus minus square root of 19. So, it follows that therefore our solution set is the set that contains negative 4 minus square root of 19 and negative 4 plus square root of 19. That's it. Now, I hope you've learned something from our first example. Madali lang ano? Diba? Madali lang. Tingog pud mo pasilan kung walay mo tingog mga amang. Okay. I know this is not enough. Let's proceed to example number 2. I will give you another example. X squared plus 6x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay? Unsa galito tong first step? We need to transpose the constant positive 1 to the right side. So this becomes x squared plus 6x is equal to negative 1. Okay? Then what's next? We add the square 1/2 of the coefficient of x. So you have x squared plus 6x plus ang coefficient ni x is 6. So you have 6 over 2 squared is equal to negative 1/2. Kung ano yung na-add natin dito sa left side, i-add din natin doon sa right side. 6 over 2 squared. Okay? So, patuloy tayo. You have x squared plus 6x plus, what is 6 divided 2? You have 3 squared. That is negative 1 plus 3 squared. So, simplify further. X squared plus 6x plus, what is 3 squared? 9. Dili 6 ha? You have negative 1 plus 9. Okay, then, this is a perfect square trinomial. We can express this as a square of binomial. Tingnan lang natin yung sa ibabaw niya. Positive 3. Tapos positive lahat. So, x plus 3 ka lang. Tapos raised to the second power. Which is equal to negative 1 plus 9. Anong sagot natin? Or 9 minus 1, that is 8. Okay? So now, from here, we can take the square root of both sides of the equation. So x plus 3, the square root, is we will square also the right side. So from this part, since this is raised to the second power and we raise that to a square root where the index is 2, we could cancel that one. What is left? X plus 3 is equal to positive, negative, what is the square root of 8? 2 is square root of 2, correct? Because if you have your calculator, if you have the calculator class, diba, if you can still recall, square root of 8 is equal to square root of 4 times square root of 2, correct? You can get the square root of 4, which is 2, so that is 2 is square root of 2. Okay, so now, from this part, we need to solve for x. So we simply transpose positive 3 to the right side. So x is equal to negative 3 plus minus 2 square root of 2. So therefore, our solution set is the set that contains negative 3 minus 2 square root of 2 and negative 3 plus 2 square root of 2. Okay? I hope may na-learn kayo dito sa completing the square method. So, you want another example? More examples to that? Okay, ito. Paano kung ganito yung examples natin? Okay. Nakaligo ka na pala. Manghihiram sana tayo ng raker tapos sama tayo dun magtapon. Pero di pa pwede. Sila ka dyan ka manghiram. Hindi ko sabihin mo ako manghiram sa mama niya. Okay, I'll give you an example number 3. You have 2x squared minus 6 is equal to x. Okay. Again, we cannot solve this by factoring nor by applying the square root property. So, okay. First step, we need to transpose all terms with the variables to the left side and the constant to the right side. Okay? So, mangyayari dito, ito. You have 2x squared minus x is equal to 6. Correct? Now, Look at the coefficient of x squared. That is more than 1, which is 2. So all we need to do here is we divide this one by 2. We divide each term by 2. Kasi dapat x squared lang talaga makita nyo. So you have now x squared minus 1 half x is equal to 3. Okay? Am I correct? Correct ba ako or kayo yung correct? Okay. Okay, ano bang sunod natin gawin? Okay, we add the square of 1 half of the coefficient of x squared minus 1 half x plus negative, we copy the sign, negative 1 half over 2 squared is equal to 3 plus negative 1 half over 2 squared. So, ano ang sagot natin dyan? What is negative 1 half over 2? That is x squared minus 1 half x plus negative 1/4 squared is equal to 3 plus negative 1/4 squared. Okay. Let's continue. This is x squared minus 1 half x plus 1 over 16. Okay. Is equal to 3 plus 1 over 16. Okay. Then this is a perfect square trinomial. We can express this as a square of binomial. So, you just simply look at the value above. Nakita natin si negative 1/4. So, we will write x minus 1/4 squared is equal to, what is 3 plus 16? What is 3 plus 16? 3 times 16. 48 plus 1, that is 49 over 60. Okay? This is raised by square. We need to solve for x. We take the square root of both sides of the equation. So, x minus 1/4 squared. We take the square root also of the right side of the equation, which is 49 over 16. Okay. What's next? Ma-cancel ito. So, you have x minus 1/4 is equal to positive, negative. What is the square root of 49? 7. What is the square root of 16? 4. Okay? So, let's solve for x. Okay? Si x talaga, no? Kaya, hindi natin makakalimutan talaga yung x natin, lalo na kapag nasa math tayo. So, solve pa rin natin. So, here we will transpose negative 1/4 to the right side. So, x is equal to negative ito dito. So, magiging positive 1/4 plus minus 7 over 4. Then, solve for x. X is equal to 1/4 plus 7 over 4. That is 1 plus 7, 8 over 4. That is 2. X is equal to 1/4 minus 7 over 4. That is negative 6 over 4, and that is negative 3 over 2 if you reduce this to its lowest term. So therefore, our solution set is the set that contains negative 3 halves and 2. Okay, questions? I hope may na-learn kayo sa topic na to. And hayaan nyo, magbibigay ako ng examples mamaya. Thank you for listening. And please don't forget to like and share that to your friends or your siblings. Thank you.